Standing Simmer here today, and welcome back to the channel for another update on my Goth family current household. Now guys, the Sims in front of you might look completely unfamiliar, like you might be like, who in the world are these people? I don't remember seeing them in the last update, and that's because I didn't get to show you the Sims I'm about to show you directly. You will recognize some people a little later on, but for right now, just stick with me for a second. I also want to interject really quickly before I get going full blast and say that you might notice that this is the second current household on the Goth I have uploaded in 2 consecutive weeks. Typically, I alternate these, every other week and then post my months of the year legacy, which is my other current household on, the other week that's not the Goth family, the alternating week, if you will. Now, I have not had much chance to play that household as much in the last couple of weeks. Typically, when I've had the free time to play The Sims for myself, which has been kind of rare, I have pretty much just been playing this household. So just for this week, we will be kind of stacking Goth updates together. At least that's my plan right now. So I hope you guys don't mind that you're getting 2 updates of this family in 2 weeks time, but you guys do seem to be enjoying them quite a lot, so I don't think any of you guys will mind too much. So I do want to go ahead and just kick right off with introducing you to the Sims. So guys, I told you in the last update that I had a Sim. Let me actually just go ahead and show you the family tree because that'll just be a little easier all around, guys. But I showed you guys that my 2 Sims, who were Sydney and Kieran, so Sydney, let me put it this way here. Yeah, here we go. My goodness, that took forever. Okay, so you guys, I showed you that Sydney and Kieran, they had 3 children. And their 3 children, Sawyer was the oldest, and then they had Charlotte or Charlie and Calliope or Callie. So the 2 girls have nicknames, don't get confused. But Sawyer was their oldest son, and he was married to Denise. And Denise and Sawyer had Miranda. So I told you guys that in the last update because Miranda at the time I think was either just a toddler or a child. She was still pretty young. And you guys obviously will notice there in the family tree that both Sawyer and Denise are dead. Now, what happened there is that Denise and Sawyer actually passed away in a house fire under somewhat mysterious circumstances. We don't exactly know what happened, but what we do know is that their daughter Miranda was actually staying with her grandparents that night and obviously wasn't in the house at the time, which is really good, obviously. But at the same time, that left her completely alone, orphaned, without parents. So Miranda, as a young child, was taken in by her aunt and uncle, Sawyer's sister, Callie or Calliope. And of course, Callie and Caleb, who you guys got to really know pretty well in the last current household update, took in their niece, Miranda, in addition to their own daughter. Now, I did introduce you to their daughter, Natalia, in the last update. In fact, one of the pretty cool events that was going on during that time for them was that Natalia aged up from a baby into a toddler. So you guys did get to see her as a toddler, which was really cool. I kind of liked sticking that in there. It doesn't happen all the time because typically I run out of time with my current household updates. But long story short, Callie and Caleb, who once again you met and got to know a little bit better in the last update, took in their niece, Miranda, who, like I said, is this cute little redhead right over here in front of you, and they raised her in addition to their own daughter, Natalia. So Natalia and Miranda grew up like sisters, pretty much. They're obviously cousins, but they grew up like sisters, and oh gosh, they're so cute. They're so cute. The Sims that I'm about to show you, we will be in both Miranda and Natalia's households. Now, they're both so unique and so different, and I'm so excited to show you guys kind of what I've done with their characters so far. So first off, Miranda is a little older than Natalia, so there is a bit of an age difference, so she's definitely the older of the 2. Now, these are her traits, as you can see right through here. She is gloomy because, again, she lost her parents when she was very young, and so that kind of like hits her with a wave of sadness every once in a while. She's a perfectionist, and she's also romantic. Now, she also has a few other traits here that she's acquired. She actually aged up both responsible and with good manners from the Parenthood game pack, which was kind of unexpected. I get responsible all the time, but good manners is kind of neither, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. And then we have also purchased a couple of other bonus traits for her. She was also a scout as a child and a teen, and she got all the way to the highest level scout. And so she has that scouting aptitude trait that you see there as well, which is really cool. So she is really an amazing Sim. So her aspiration is to be a bodybuilder. Now, her dad actually had this aspiration too, and I didn't get the chance to play with that in their family because I told you guys in the last update that I really wasn't playing with that branch of the family as much. I was mainly playing with Charlie and Callie and their 2 families, but her dad had this aspiration. So whether she knew her dad for a very long time or not, she kind of still has some similar interests, which I think is cool. And this way I actually get to play with this bodybuilder aspiration again. I know it's one that a lot of people do, but I haven't done it in a while. So that's what we're doing there. She's actually completed 3 of 4 tiers, and she, as soon as she completes this last little bit here, she is done with this aspiration, guys, which is really, really cool. And she is in the, she's in the writer career, the journalist branch. So my storyline for this is that she, like I said, her parents died in a fire under some mysterious circumstances. No one really exactly knows what happens, but what we do know is that it wasn't ever fully investigated to the extent that the family would have liked. And as a result of that, Miranda's kind of always grown up with this kind of niggling feeling in the back of her mind that she wants to be a good reporter. She wants to dig out the details. She wants to figure out what's wrong. She wants to get to the bottom of events and things like that. And that has kind of come from the fact that her parents did die under some mysterious circumstances. So that's kind of why she's in the writer career, but specifically the journalist branch. So I really, really like that we've kind of, progressed in that direction with her. And she's actually level 8 already. She is still a young adult, and she's getting close to being an adult, but I'm playing on long lifespan. So that kind of will just happen whenever I decide it kind of needs to happen, sort of a thing. But she's doing very well both in her career and with her aspiration as well. And I just think that she is quite amazing. She's a gorgeous sim, guys. I mean, I will say this in just about all these current household updates because this family's genetics is goals. Honestly, I didn't do this. It's them. So that is little Miss Miranda here. Now, obviously, she is like playing with a little toddler back here on her back. And in order to introduce you to him, I also need to talk to you about the other and the third member that is in this household. So this is Joel Redmond over here. Now, Joel and Miranda have known each other since they were teenagers. It wasn't exactly like a teenage sweetheart type situation. They were friends when they were teenagers, but they didn't really date too much throughout their teenage years. More like right after they graduated high school, they kind of started, to decide that they might want to hang out a bit together. The funny thing is, though, is that Miranda, being a romantic, is very into flirting. She's very into romance as a whole, but Joel is actually unflirty. So this is his trait panel. He's good, unflirty, and a vegetarian, and he wants to be a city native. So they might always live in the city. I don't know exactly yet, but that kind of makes sense with his aspiration. I've also never completed this aspiration. I don't know if I will with him specifically, but it is an option, obviously. So that is kind of cool there. He is in the scientist career. He's currently level 6 of the scientist career as a ufologist, or I imagine it's ufologist. That's my guess, but I don't know. But guys, that is Joel, and they are now madly in love. They've had their ups and downs. It mainly has been because of the fact that Miranda is so flirty and so outgoing in that sense, but Joel has always kind of like turned... he kind of hasn't always responded to those advances as well. She's definitely more she has kind of more pushed for the relationship compared to him, if that makes sense. And occasionally her advances, if you might say it that way, don't always go very well because he is unflirty. So getting them together when they were like transitioning from teens to young adults was very difficult because sometimes he would accept, her flirting, and sometimes he wouldn't. And it would just kind of depend on the day. So they've had their ups and downs, like I said, but I mean, what good couple doesn't have their ups and downs from time to time? So that is Joel and Miranda, and they actually kind of got married rather quickly as far as actual timing goes. They'd already been dating for a while, and I actually didn't move him into her household when they were still dating. They actually didn't move in together until they got married, which is something I sometimes do with my Sims, but sometimes don't. I feel like Miranda was very focused on her career, and until Joel was ready to commit to her, she was kind of like, no, until we kind of make this official, I don't need the distraction kind of a thing. I feel like that was kind of her personality with that. So they actually went to the romance festival one evening, and as tends to happen at the romance festival, they got a little flirty. I forget who proposed. Gosh, I want to say he proposed, but I could be wrong about that. I feel like I really don't remember. I feel bad about that now, but if he proposed, it was more of a, okay, I really kind of need to step up. I'm going to lose this girl if I don't, make a commitment kind of a thing. And if she proposed, which gosh, I really need to remember who proposed. Anyways, if she proposed, it was more like a, hey, time's a ticking. We've been together for a while. Why don't you just let's just take the next step kind of a thing. So that is Joel and Miranda, like I said, and they did get married right there at the romance festival, like right after they proposed. They just eloped. They didn't really want anything big, anything fancy. They have some family that could have, of course, come to the wedding. They have some friends, but I think that as a general rule, they were pretty much content with it just being the two of them, which is really sweet. And so some time passed, of course, and they decided that maybe it would be time to, expand their their family a little bit. And so as a result came Edmund here that you see that Miranda is playing with, and he is such a cutie pie. You can see that he has her red hair. He actually has her green eyes as well, but I think he has his dad's like paler skin tone. So yeah, that's them. Very cute family. Really love playing with them. I literally just aged Edmund up into a toddler because I wanted you guys to see what he looked like. I was also very curious as to what he looked like. So that has actually just happened in the game. So I actually don't even have a toddler room ready for him. So guys, this is their apartment here. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on all the lights for you guys so you can see what's going on here. So I actually did build this apartment. It's not on the channel or anything. It's also not on the gallery. If you guys would want it on the gallery, just let me know. I'm happy to upload it if I remember to do so. But I actually had this apartment initially set up for Miranda and Natalia to live together. And of course, I will be introducing you again to Natalia in just a minute. So don't worry about that. This will all make a bit more sense here in just a second. But I did have Miranda and Natalia living together right as they first moved out. Again, they're cousins, but they grew up like sisters. And so when Natalia finally aged up into a young adult, even though Miranda had already been a young adult for a while, I had them move out here to the city together to begin their careers. And they actually did live together for a while, even following Miranda and Joel getting married. But then kind of as Edmund was born, and obviously like, you know, Edmund was sleeping here in his parents' room, they kind of started to run out of space a little bit. And so Natalia kind of decided that it was probably time to branch off on her own a little bit. Once again, we'll see her and her household here in just a second. But that's kind of what happened with that. So this is Miranda and Joel's room over here. As you can see, lots of bright yellows and pretty greens and all that. Miranda has liked yellow ever since she was a little girl. So I think that's her favorite color probably. And then this is the room that was Natalia's room, but that I will be transferring into being little Edmund's room at some point, and possibly the room of another child, should that happen in the future. I do expect them to have more children. I just don't yet know what that's going to look like or how many they're going to have, especially if they're going to be living in the city. I mean, space tends to be limited in the city to an extent, so I don't know, that's just kind of what we're thinking about right now. I don't think, guys, that I have anything more to update you guys on this family. They are in a club together, but I want to talk to you guys more about this when I get to Natalia, because this is more her turf, more or less. So I am going to take you guys into Cass and let you guys see what they look like up close. Oh my words, they're just like just mucking around all over the place, but I do, as always, want to show you guys these Sims kind of up close so you can kind of get an idea what their genetics look like. Now, Miranda has not always worn glasses, and actually for some of her outfits, she doesn't wear glasses at all, so I'll show you that. So like for that outfit she does, but then for this outfit she doesn't. So gosh guys, how pretty is this Sim, honestly? This is totally natural. So, I will confess to you, sometimes when I'm playing through Legacies, I will just like change like teeny tiny little things about their faces. Like if they have no chin, I'm gonna give them a little bit of a chin, you know, because that tends to happen in The Sims. But I have not touched her face. I promise you, I've not even had to touch her face because her face is beautiful, you know? So this is the combination, obviously, of her parents' genetics, Sawyer and Denise. And Denise, her mother, did wear glasses, so I thought that eventually, especially as she got just a little bit older, Miranda would eventually need to wear glasses too. So for some of her outfits, she does wear them, especially because she spends a lot of time writing on the computer. I feel like the strain of that would kind of get to her eyes a bit. So she wears her glasses for some of her outfits, but then doesn't have to worry about it for others. And guys, as you can see, she is really buff. Again, that's because of her aspirations. She spends a lot of time working out, both at her house and at the gym and all that good stuff. But girl is looking good. I mean, she just had a baby not too long ago. She is looking good. So that is Miranda. And then I'm going to show you Joel up close as well, just so you can kind of get an idea of what he looks like. He's a really, really cute looking Sim. He actually looks like, in the pale skin tone and the gray eye department, he looks a lot like Caleb, because Caleb has the palest skin tone and the gray eyes as well. But he also has his own very obvious personality, you know, Joel does. So that is Joel, very cute Sim, and I imagine that they're gonna have super cute babies, and Edmund here is an example of that. Once again, he has his mom's hair and eyes, but I think his dad's slightly paler skin tone. That could just be me, but I think that that's correct. And he is an inquisitive toddler, by the way. So that is little Edmund. So guys, I am doing sort of okay on time right now. I kind of want to try to keep that up. So I am going to go ahead and jump into the other household that I want to update you guys on, which is of Natalia, who I've been kind of talking about a little bit here and there. So definitely hang on for that. All right, guys, we are on over into the other household that I want to tell you guys a little bit about here in the last part of this update, and that is of Natalia Goth, like I mentioned, like 50 times already in this video. It's fine. But she is the daughter, of course, of Callie and Caleb, once again, who you met in the last update. And you've also met Natalia again, like I said. She was a toddler, though, the last time we saw her. So she's done quite a bit of growing up since then, as you can see. So Natalia is the only daughter of Callie and Caleb. They decided not to have any more kids after her. So she did grow up, though, with kind of like a sister figure, once again, in Miranda. So they grew up sort of like sisters. So I don't feel like Natalia feels neglected in the sibling department, which is nice, because she has chosen some interesting paths. Those two ideas, by the way, are not connected at all. I don't know why I began that sentence that way and then ended that sentence that way, but it is what it is. So I want to introduce you to Natalia, who is actually missing work right now, so we're not going to talk about that. I'm just going to keep the game on pause while I do the introductions, and then we'll have to send her to work here in just a minute. But yes, this is Natalia Goth. She is, I'm just going to go ahead and show you her trait panel here. She's genius, evil, and a bro. So evil, that's kind of interesting, right? Like, that's kind of a unique trait to give a sim. I haven't chosen the evil trait directly in this legacy so far, but I decided to give it to Natalia because I felt like, despite the fact that she had like the most amazing upbringing she could ask for, she still kind of has trouble being okay with just that lifestyle. I feel like she wants to be a little bit more mischievous than that, and mischievous more in the evil sense than anything. So she is in the criminal career, which is why she's missing work at 1 a.m. because she's missing work and she's supposed to be off, like, I don't know, being on the streets or whatever you do when you're in the criminal career. So she is actually in the boss branch of the criminal career. She just had that promotion like the last time I was playing with her family. And so she has chosen to go more the boss side of things versus the oracle side of things. I forget exactly what I forget exactly what level of the career this is, but it's obviously probably a little bit more than halfway is my guess. So being a criminal, she doesn't make a whole bunch of money. It actually is not the most lucrative career, but she also does have another member of the household here that can kind of help out with the bills. Really quickly, before I introduce you to him, though, I am going to tell you that her aspiration is to be a leader of the pack, which she has actually completed. So Natalia has already completed her aspiration. Once again, she's a young adult, but she's a bit younger than Miranda, who we met earlier. So she has just busted through life as far as her aspiration goes. I actually have no idea what I'm going to be giving her next, but I'm sure whatever it will be is going to be kind of interesting for her. I'm excited to develop her character a little bit more, but that is Natalia in a nutshell, and these are her extra traits, her bonus traits, that is. She has this natural leader trait because of completing that aspiration, and she was a top-notch toddler as well, so she maxed all of her toddler skills. It's been a little bit since I had a sim in this family do that, and so I thought it'd be kind of fun to do that with Natalia, once again to emphasize the fact that she had like the perfect upbringing and she has like the perfect parents, but she still ended up evil despite their best efforts. Now, being that she's evil, though, does not mean that she is like a horrible, uncaring, insensitive sim. That's not her, but she has her moments, kind of like everyone does. I just think that she has more evil moments than not, and so much so that she obviously has chosen to be in the criminal career as well. So that is Miss Natalia, guys. So being that she is still so young, she hasn't done a massive amount of living. However, she is dating this guy over here. His name is Joshua Adams, and Joshua and Miranda and Joel, the other two sims I just introduced you to, they were all pretty close growing up. They were all kind of in the same like teen group. Of course, Natalia has always been a bit younger than the other guys, but she's kind of still in the same group because she and Miranda were so close. So she and Joshua have been interested in each other since they were younger. Actually, they did start dating as teenagers, and it was pretty casual. Like, they've always been very while Miranda was a bit more self-controlled when it came to like, Joel moving in and like all the woohooing and all that kind of stuff, Natalia has never really had that kind of restraint. So she and Joshua have been woohooing it up ever since they were teenagers, just at every opportunity. I'm actually very surprised that they don't have children just yet, but they are dating, as I said. I do imagine that they will be getting married at some point, mainly because I like to do a like full-fledged wedding at some point in every generation, and that always kind of excites me to do that. However, guys, I'm going to kind of let you in on a little plan that I have for the future for this household. So while, like I say, Natalia and Joshua are pretty close. I mean, you can't really complain about their relationship. Everything looks pretty good from the outside. They do still kind of have their own set of issues. And couple that with the fact that Natalia is evil at the same time, then I feel like that might present some problems down the road, because another member of their teen group from way back when is this guy, Jake Whitmore. Now, Jake is married to a lady, Nia Adams, and that is actually Josh's sister. So, all pretty close, very tight-knit, but Natalia has been better friends with Jake than compared to what she has been with Joshua this entire time. Like, they have always been way more close. She just decided to date Joshua, probably just because they had a bit more chemistry right off the bat. But she and Jake are like best friends. Like, they literally are best friends. So this is like my plan for the future. And I know I've sort of kind of already done this in the first generation with this whole, you're good friends with two guys, but you go with one of them, but then you end up with the other one. That's actually not exactly what I'm going to do with this. At least that's not what I think I'm going to do with this. What I'm thinking, though, is that at some point in the future, because Natalia and Joshua tend to butt heads kind of frequently, I think that at some point Natalia may or may not go running into Jake's arms, and there might or might not be an affair at some point in the future. I don't exactly know if that will happen, but I have not done affairs yet in this family, and it's just not something I tend to do a ton in my families, because I love happy, joyous occasion type thing. I love that kind of stuff with my sim families, but every once in a while, I do kind of like to shake it up a little bit. So that's just kind of my initial thinking. I haven't followed through with any of that just yet, but that's just kind of what I'm thinking. These two, of course, will have children because Natalia still carries the Goth name, and so as a result of that, I will be continuing on with her legacy too, in addition to playing with Miranda's family. But that is just kind of, that's just kind of what I have planned. I just wanted to kind of let you guys in on that. So Joshua over here, just to introduce you to him, he's genius, unflirty, and a bro. So it's funny because he's also unflirty, but he and Natalia have never had issues with that at all. Like, that has never been a problem like it had been with Joel. I don't know why two guys in the same friend group were both unflirty. I don't know what was going on there exactly. But long story short, it has never been an issue for them. Like, I feel like Joshua tends to be more on the flirty side than anything compared to Joel. So that's just, like I said, that's just kind of what I'm throwing out there. Now, he wants to be a Renaissance sim, and he does not have a job because we just moved in with him. It has only literally just happened. In fact, when Natalia decided that she wanted to come out here, move out on her own, and kind of forage the rest of her life, then that was when she and Joshua decided to move in together. She was, once again, living with Miranda over in San Myshuno, but after Edmund was born and all that stuff, she was kind of like, you know what, this apartment's getting kind of small. I love you guys, but I feel like I kind of need to start off on my own sort of a thing. And so that was what came from that. So I am going to go ahead and send her to work, and that way we can officially find out what level of this career she's in, because I'm totally forgetting at this point. And let's see here. She is level 6. So yeah, she has only just reached level 6. But again, she's also just kind of barely become a young adult. She's really not been a young adult for too awful long. So she's got quite a long way to go, I imagine. So guys, I am going to take you into Cass and show you off their features and all that kind of stuff like I did with the last household, because I really, really enjoyed doing this. Really quickly, I do want to mention that as with my recent several videos on this family, I will have a link to the Plum Tree app family tree in the description below. So that way, if you want to know a little bit more as far as like the details of this family and how it's all connected and who's married to who and what their traits are, even from several generations ago, I have been keeping it well updated. So definitely check that out if you guys would like to. So first off, I'm going to show you Joshua, just a nice little, close little thing up close. That doesn't make any sense at all. Close little thing up close. Okay. But this is Joshua. He has brown hair, green eyes, as you can see, this lovely darker complexion. It's not the darkest, obviously, but I don't know. I just think he's very cute. I think they're going to make some cute babies, which obviously in The Sims is a pretty big priority for me, especially when you're talking about like genetics going on into future generations. But guys, this is Natalia. So she is so pretty. Oh my goodness. Once again, this is Callie and Caleb's daughter. I don't care what anyone says. Caleb makes good babies. He has always made good babies in my households. He makes some good babies. So with that being said, this is Natalia. So she is really, really cute. I've only recently given her this custom hairstyle with the bangs and the little space bun. buns too, because I think it is really, really pretty on her. I'm just gonna show you an outfit or two of hers. So once again, she's got a pretty casual style. She's still pretty young, once again, so her style is still kind of young as well. But I don't know, I just think she's very, very cute, and I'm so pleased with how the genetics are turning out so far in this generation. In fact, we are on Gen 5, and Edmund, who you met earlier, is Gen 6. So I cannot even believe we've come this far in this generation, in this family as a whole. So guys, just a quick little note here at the end. Caleb and Callie, once again, Natalia's parents, they're still alive and well. They're living over in Windenburg in the family home where they raised Natalia and Miranda, and they're just like, they're living happily. They visit a lot, you know. They're not the happiest with their daughter's choices as far as careers go and some of the things that she does in her life, but they love her because, you know, she's their daughter. So they visit a lot. There's no bad blood there, so everything's good. But they're not even elders yet. They're still adults. So guys, I think that's all I have to update you guys on this family. Once again, if you'd like, stay tuned for the screenshots at the end because I love showing you the screenies. I love taking screenies of this family, so enjoy those if you would like. But I am gonna go ahead and leave it off right here. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you're having the best of days, and I will see you very soon. Bye!
I'm so happy.